I'm just here to ask some questions because of the genocide in Gaza that worries me a lot. And I'm actually just here to ask some questions because, as a veteran in being on the other side of genocide as well, in theory, a lot of Jews went through genocides. October 7th was a legitimate resistance, but in the Holocaust, for example. And there are a lot of things that our grandparents, great grandparents did to save the children and themselves, right? So I'm just here to ask some questions, all right? So one of the things that Jews did to save their kids was to give away their children to churches, to monasteries, and to let them just hide there so that they wouldn't be caught. So my question is, how many Gazan children were given by their parents to some sort of custody? And maybe churches today could maybe hide some kids, some Gazan kids, because to save them. And I just wonder, I just feel like I don't see it happening. So if can somebody explain to me why Gazan children and babies are not being hidden in churches, then let me know. Another thing that is similar that was happening is that they would transfer children, like the Kindertransport. They would take all the children and, like as many as the authorities would allow, right? They would just send them away to safer places like Britain, Japan, wherever, right? So a lot of parents would just hide their children and let their neighbors have them or send them away. And because the Gazans, I think because I'm very worried about them, and I just here to ask questions, shouldn't we at least secure the safety of the babies and children in Gaza and transfer them somewhere? Maybe, that would be something that we could do. It was done for Jews, several thousands out of 1.5 million kids that were murdered. But, 1.5 million kids were murdered, but several thousands were saved by those means. I guess a lot more than, but just transfers and stuff, that would be like several dozens of thousands that were saved like that. So I think that if the world really learned from previous genocides, maybe that should somehow be an option, right? Thinking about, okay, maybe we can just take the kids or something, and just asking questions. And yeah, actually, I think we can even extend that mindset to kids in a lot of war zones. And I also want to say that the monasteries, a lot of them wouldn't receive kids that are too old for them to learn Christianity properly. So they had conditions like babies, infants, that's okay because they wouldn't remember that they were Jewish, but like kids that are 5, they might had been already infected by the virus called Judaism. So monasteries, churches were we cannot have them because it might be too late for them, unfortunately. But the parents, they were desperate to save their babies and kids, so they would give them away like that, knowing that these kids would grow up not ever finding out that they were Jewish kids, just orphans. So, and I know there's Europe needs children, the West needs children, Japan kind of needs children, Korea needs children. And my guess is that maybe there are desperate parents out there that would do it. And I kind of wonder who would agree to that versus who wouldn't. The Jews agreed to that, to send their kids away. And I wonder what kind of settings and what kind of psychology had made them do something like that. And why is it that when everybody is shouting about genocides that are happening, back then nobody could, like those who shouted and stuff like that, like they tried at least like taking kids or something, like saving them, like having some sort of deals. And I think the Jews would have been so grateful if all the kids would have been taken, honestly speaking. Like all of them, just save them. Doesn't matter, just keep them alive. And that opportunity was given, like partially so, but I feel like now it's not even being given at all. So I'm just asking questions, honestly speaking. So please let me know why it's not happening. All right, thank you. Thank you for listening. Like, comment, subscribe, and thank you for watching. See you later.